47-yard line.
Hey, welcome back, Roadrunners, to the Lip Medallion. I thought I'd pop in with a quick video for the midweek. Going to cover probably 3 topics. I don't know. I tend to get wordy, so stick with me. I might only get 2. I might only get 1. That's okay, right? So the first one is cold fronts coming in through Texas, and so I had to break out my beanie. I had to break out my Kevin Brown jacket from his first pass around with the program when he was our offensive coordinator. He is now currently an ops guy for UTSA, and he is doing marvelous things. He is part of the driving force to getting former players back, former assistants back, and letting them feel part of family, right? He is really, that's a big thing that he's done. And so this is where I'm going to go with transition into, after talking about Kevin Brown. So Kevin Brown is a super nice guy. I mean, really awesome. Has time for everybody. If he were to go down your street, you know, shaking hands, kissing cheeks, kissing babies, you'd give him your vote. He's that kind of guy, right? Well, anyway, after the Memphis game, saw him he walks through the parking lot before the game because he's an ops guy, so he didn't have a lot to do, I guess, before the game, especially before the game. So he says hi to a lot of the donors and whatnot. And I just told him, I said, you know, UTSA, showed a lot of composure. I think that was the word I used, was composure. And after the game, to stay in the game, because UTSA obviously spotted Memphis with an easy touchdown and then dropped down to 21-0, but still came back and won 31-28. He said, looks can be deceiving. And I said, that may be true. I said, but to my eyes, that's what it looked like, composure. And you just kept clawing back and won the game. He kind of smiled. He said, thank you. And he moved on, you know. But I've seen him anytime I've gone down in outside the locker room. He's always come out and said hi to me and a buddy of mine. So he's a super awesome guy. That's why I'm wearing this jacket in honor of him. This is actually his jacket. It has his name on it. I might want to ask him if he wants it back. Probably doesn't. He probably can get a new one, right? Well, anyway, so we're gonna transition to Jeff Traylor staying. Now, Jeff Traylor brokered a beautiful contract for himself, and most importantly for the program. There was stuff like more money for the assistant coaches, for the salary pool for the assistant coaches. I saw one where they said they can get another training guy, a fitness guy, which obviously you got to have more than one, because one guy might need to be in there when more players of the team are in there doing their group workouts, and you know the guy to go around. And it's hard to get people to volunteer for stuff like that because they don't feel wanted, right? Not everybody does stuff for free. People have to understand that. Most of these kids, well, 85 of them aren't playing football for free. Everyone thinks they're playing for free. No, they're getting a scholarship, right? And the other ones might be playing for free, but they're playing under the guys that they are getting an education. They get to stay in the athletes' dorms, right? They get to go travel and play football, right? Basically for free. They're playing football for free, but they're playing a sport. So they're getting something out of it, right? Because otherwise, if they didn't, they'd have to find some league somewhere and pay their entry fee, stuff like that. But they're all also working to see if they can possibly walk on or whatever and get a scholarship when someone else moves on. So the coaches' salaries going up is awesome, is big. And there's other small things. I heard him mention something about food for the staff, food for the players after games, just simple stuff that hadn't been really addressed by, I don't know if the previous staffs hadn't addressed it or maybe UTSA didn't have the money at the time. Going to the AAC, going to the American is definitely helping big time, right? I don't know what it'll ultimately end up being, but I do know Conference USA right now pays less than $500,000 in media rights to all the teams. So going to the AAC, even if they cut it because they have a rule that says marquee teams leave, they can renegotiate basically for ESPN. Even if they drop it down to 3.5, that is a boon for us. That's going to cover his contract at 2.8 plus the coach's staff, which is probably another $700,000 when you look at it really closely, because our assistant coaches don't make that much. But if we can double it and we can keep some a little long term, attract some up and coming ones, willing to make the jump and knowing that they may jump again, right? So, but that's okay. If we can stay that course, that is beautiful. That was a great job by his agent and by himself. He was proved to be a man of his word. Said he loved San Antonio, wanted to build something, and he's at the situation where he can build something. So let's see if he does it. Let's see what happens. You know, the future is what we make it, and there's no way to tell that he's gonna be 100% a success, right? We just got to stay the course as road runners. We got to understand that he can't do this every year. But you know what? If he wins 8 games every year, we're golden. As road runners, we're golden, because that means we'll be going to bowl games every year. That means we'll be attracting recruits every year. It'll be easier to say, hey, you're the one guy that make us 10 to 10 wins. You're the guy that can add. And now we're thinking it got a squad for 10. Now we can go for 11 and 12, right? So makes recruiting a lot easier. So let's talk about the weather a little bit. Cold front came in here, and it might not be so fun. I didn't look at the forecast for El Paso Saturday night, but it's a night game. Mountains out that way, so it's probably be a little brisk. There may be a little something that, you know, kids used to practicing in San Antonio, haven't, 6 games are outdoors, right? And haven't been, where it's been cold yet, right? So we'll see what happens, how they handle that. Can they handle not being ranked in the CFP? I hope so. I hope it motivates them. But you can rest assured that UTEP, after losing to FAU, is going to bring everything they got. They're going to throw the kitchen sink at UTSA. So here's two guesses. One, UTSA goes out and just steamrolls UTEP because they're so mad. Or it's a long night for us as fans. I'm going with they're going to go steamroll them, and that's all we gotta worry about. My prediction, come on. You know what's coming. You know what's coming. I'll give you 3 seconds. I'll count down. 3, 2, 1. Did you guess it? 77 UTSA -1 UTEP. That's what it's going to be. Be ready for it. They're going to lay it on them. They're going to come out fired up. Now, what I want to talk about is why isn't UTSA in the top 25 at all? My issue is, do I think they're world beaters? No. Do I think they're a good football team? Yeah. They're solid. I think this football team in the SEC, would they be undefeated? No, but that's not the question. Right? Because if that was the question, then why is Mississippi State, Texas A&M, and a host of other SEC schools in top 15 and higher? Mississippi State has 3 losses. Mississippi State struggled with La Tech at home. Mississippi State lost to Memphis at home. Might I remind everybody, UTSA went to Memphis, and I mentioned that game, showed a lot of composure, showed a lot of moxie, came back and won that with last-second field goal. We were tied 28-all, so it was going to overtime if Hunter misses it, but he didn't. Striped it right down the middle, won 31-28. Went to La Tech, took care of business, 45-16. That's taking care of business. Why couldn't Mississippi State do that to them? That's a big question that I have. I don't have an issue with other teams being where they're at. What I have an issue is the teams that are there and UTSA isn't. Pitt's number 25 because of wins, but they still have 2 losses. But that ain't the ones I'm worried about. What about Fresno State? What about San Diego State? If you look at their schedules, yes, they beat 2 Pac-12 teams. Right? Fresno State, yeah, that's true. And they lost to 2 Big 12 teams. The 2 Pac-12 teams they lost to, between them have 7 losses already on the season. Penn State was number 6 in the nation, I believe, and lost to Illinois. So how does us beating Illinois in Champaign not credit, but it's okay that the Big 12 Western Division plays them every year? These are kind of important questions when you think about their mentality. If UTSA can beat Illinois, UTSA can beat Indiana. If UTSA can beat Illinois and Indiana, they could probably beat a few other teams in the Big Ten. You don't think they could beat Vanderbilt? What about Missouri? So you put those teams on UTSA's schedule and they go undefeated, you know where they'd be? They'd be in the top 10. But we all know they can beat them. Those teams are terrible. Right now, UTSA can beat them. Will they? Who knows? That's why you play the game. If UTSA had slid in at number 25 and those teams were ahead, I'd been like, well, I don't get why those teams are ahead. But, I'd be like, all right. Here's what the College Football Committee is saying. It's Cincinnati's to lose. That's why they're number 6. So they're going to go to the New Year's Six Bowl if they win out. And if Cincinnati falters, BYU's sliding right in at number 16. We played BYU last year in Provo, ad hoc, out of the way. Didn't know we were supposed to even go there. With a third-string quarterback, missing our backup running back, and they still struggled with us. And our team is better this year, and they're not better. They're not better. BYU's not better. They're the same team they were last year. So it's kind of the stuff I don't get. I don't understand their logic. Anyway, Roadrunners, support the Roadrunners by watching. If you can't make it to El Paso, they are on ESPN. It's a big game, big exposure. So get that ESPN fired up, plug it up, take every device you have in your house, turn it on. If you got 3 different cable boxes, turn on those cable boxes. I've got 3, and all 3 of them are going to be on the game when that game starts. Absolutely. I'm going to reward ESPN for having us on ESPN. Absolutely. Yeah, I don't know if it works that way. It's just an idea. Anyway, Roadrunners, support the team. See you in the Dome in 2 weeks. And